Welcome back to Fluent Mic English. I am your host, Sarah.
And I am Mark. It is wonderful to be here with you.
Today, we have a very serious but important topic, English for politics.
Yes, politics is everywhere in the news. The vocabulary can be difficult.
Exactly. So we will break down the most common words and phrases.
We will focus on clear, standard definitions used in American and British English.
Let's start with the basics. Mark, what is the political spectrum?
A spectrum is a range. The political spectrum measures different political beliefs.
Ah, like a scale. We often hear about the left and right.
Correct. The left usually refers to liberal or progressive political views.
So people on the left often want social change and government support?
Precisely. Now, the right usually refers to conservative or traditional views.
Interesting. Does the right generally prefer smaller government and traditional values?
Yes, generally speaking. And in the middle, we have the center.
I see. People in the center are often called moderates, right?
That is right. A moderate does not hold extreme views on either side.
Okay, that is the spectrum. Now let's talk about the people involved.
You mean the politicians? The people who work in the government?
Yes. Specifically, what do we call someone trying to get a job?
In politics, that person is called a candidate. They are running for office.
Running for office. That is a great phrase. It means competing for the job.
Exactly. A candidate runs a campaign to convince people to vote for them.
A campaign includes speeches, advertisements, and meeting with voters. It is hard work.
Very hard work. And the voters they talk to are called constituents.
Constituents. That is a big word. Can you explain that again?
Of course. Constituents are the people living in the area a politician represents.
Got it. So if I live in your city, I am your constituent.
Yes, and politicians must listen to their constituents if they want to win.
Speaking of winning, let's discuss elections. What is an incumbent?
An incumbent is the person who currently holds the job or office.
I see. So the incumbent is trying to keep their job against a challenger.
Correct. Often the incumbent has an advantage because people already know them.
Makes sense. Now, how do we know who is winning before the election?
We look at the polls. A poll is a survey of public opinion.
So if the news says the candidate is up in the polls, what does it mean?
It means the survey shows that many people plan to vote for them.
Okay, but sometimes polls are wrong. We have to wait for election day.
True. On election day, people cast their ballot. That is the voting paper.
Right. To cast a ballot simply means to vote. It is a formal phrase.
Yes, and sometimes a candidate wins by a landslide. Do you know that term?
A landslide? That sounds like a disaster with falling rocks.
In nature, yes, but in politics, a landslide means winning by a very large margin.
Ah, so a landslide victory is a very big, easy victory.
Exactly. The opposite would be a close race or a tight race.
Okay, let's move to what happens after the election. The government starts working.
Right. We often hear about legislation. This refers to laws being made.
And a piece of planned legislation is called a bill, correct?
Yes, a bill is a proposal. It is not a law yet.
So politicians debate the bill. They talk about its pros and cons.
And this is where things get partisan. That is a key vocabulary word.
Partisan. Partisan. What does it mean exactly?
It means strongly supporting one political party and refusing to compromise.
So a partisan issue causes fighting between the left and the right?
Yes, it divides people. The opposite of partisan is bipartisan.
Bipartisan. The prefix bi means two. So two parties working together?
Exactly. A bipartisan agreement is when opposing parties agree on a solution.
That sounds wonderful. Is bipartisan cooperation common these days?
Unfortunately, no. Politics is becoming more polarized.
Polarized? Like the North and South Pole? Meaning very far apart?
That is a perfect analogy. Polarization means the two sides are moving further apart.
So polarization makes it harder to pass legislation or agree on laws.
Yes, it creates gridlock. Imagine traffic that cannot move. That is gridlock.
Gridlock in government means nothing gets done because of the fighting.
Exactly. Now, when they argue, they use rhetoric. Have you heard this word?
Rhetoric, yes. It refers to the art of speaking, right?
Yes, but in politics, rhetoric often means persuasive or emotional language.
So if I say, that is just political rhetoric, what am I implying?
You imply that the words sound good, but maybe they lack real substance.
I see. It's just talk to impress the voters or constituents.
Precisely. Rhetoric is often used in a debate.
A debate is a formal argument where candidates discuss their different views.
Correct. Debates are crucial for helping voters decide who to support.
Sometimes candidates attack each other. We call that mudslinging.
Mudslinging. That is a very visual idiom, throwing mud at someone.
It means using insults or negative accusations to damage an opponent's reputation.
Yes, mudslinging is very common in a heated, polarized campaign.
Okay, let's talk about money. Money is huge in politics.
Sadly, yes. Candidates need money to run ads. They get donations.
And there are groups that try to influence politicians. They're called lobbyists.
Lobbyists. They work for a special interest group. They lobby for specific laws.
To lobby means to try to persuade a politician to vote a certain way.
Yes. For example, an oil company might lobby against environmental laws.
Or a teachers' union might lobby for more money for schools.
Exactly. Lobbying is legal, but some people think it gives rich groups too much power.
That is a controversial topic. Let's switch to something more positive.
Sure. How about grassroots? That is a very positive term.
Grassroots, like the roots of the grass in the ground?
Yes. A grassroots movement starts with ordinary people, not powerful leaders.
So if my neighbors and I start a group to clean the park, that is grassroots.
Exactly. It grows from the bottom up. It is very democratic.
I love that. It feels very empowering for the average citizen.
Agreed. Now, let's review a few more advanced terms for news listeners.
Good idea. What about the word referendum? We hear that in the UK often.
A referendum is a general vote by everyone on a single political question.
So instead of voting for a person, we vote yes or no on an idea.
Yes. For example, should we build a new airport? That is a referendum.
Clear. And what about the word diplomacy? This is for international politics.
Diplomacy is the profession of managing international relations.
It implies talking and negotiating instead of fighting wars, right?
Yes. A diplomat tries to keep peace between different countries.
We definitely need more diplomacy in the world today.
Absolutely. Another term related to power is veto.
Veto. V-E-T-O. It sounds Latin. What does it mean?
It means to reject a decision or proposal made by a lawmaking body.
So if the president vetoes a bill, it doesn't become a law.
Exactly. The president stops it. It is a powerful tool.
Okay, we have covered a lot of words today. Spectrum, incumbent, partisan.
Also rhetoric, grassroots, and lobbying. These are essential for understanding the news.
Let's do a quick quiz for our listeners. I will describe a word.
I am ready. Go ahead, Sarah.
This is a person who currently has the job and wants to be reelected.
That person is the incumbent. Did you get it, listeners?
Good. Next one. This describes when two parties work together happily.
Ah, the dream scenario. That is bipartisan.
Correct. And finally, a movement started by ordinary people at the local level.
That is a grassroots movement.
Perfect. Mark, why is it important for language learners to know these words?
Because politics affects daily life. If you understand the news, you understand the culture.
That is true. And you can participate in conversations with native speakers.
Yes, people love to discuss politics, even though it can be sensitive.
What is the best way to practice this vocabulary?
Read the headlines. Try to identify words like poll, bill, or campaign.
Great advice. Also, listen to political podcasts, but choose one that speaks clearly. Like Fluent Mic English, of course. Of course. Before we finish, let's touch on one modern problem. Misinformation. Oh, that is a huge topic. Misinformation means false or inaccurate information. Is it different from disinformation? Yes, slightly. Disinformation is lies spread on purpose to trick people. So misinformation might be a mistake, but disinformation is a lie. Exactly. Both are dangerous in politics because they confuse voters. So voters need to fact check. That means to verify the truth. Yes. Always fact check what you read on social media. That is excellent advice for life, not just politics. Agreed. Well, Sarah, I think we have given our listeners plenty to think about. I think so too. Thank you for making these complex terms simple, Mark. My pleasure. It is always fun to explore the English language with you. Listeners, try using one of these new words in a sentence today. Yes. Maybe discuss a local issue or a recent poll. Thank you for listening to Fluent Mic English. See you next time. Goodbye, everyone, and happy studying.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the video.